How much house can you afford? You might think the answer is whatever amount a lender pre-approves you for. Not necessarily, because there's a difference between what you can technically qualify for and what you can actually feel comfortable paying every month. And understanding that difference before you start looking at homes is incredibly important. Welcome back to the Home Buying Blueprint. I'm Jamie Talbert with Real Brokerage, and in the last video, we built the foundation for your home search. Now it's time to talk about the money, and I want you to think about four things: your comfortable monthly payment, the true cost of owning the home, how you're going to finance the purchase, and finally, getting pre-approved. Let's start with the number I think buyers should pay much more attention to. Figure out what payment allows you to own the home and still comfortably live your life. Then your lender can help you work backward from there. The next mistake is looking only at principal and interest. Your mortgage isn't necessarily your entire housing expense. Depending on the property and where you're buying, your monthly housing costs could include principal and interest, property taxes, homeowners insurance, mortgage insurance, depending on your loan, HOA or condo fees, if that applies. And then there are expenses that aren't necessarily part of your mortgage payment, but still need to be in your budget: utilities, repairs, maintenance, maybe landscaping, maybe higher electricity cost. The point isn't to scare you, it's actually the opposite. I want you to know the numbers before you buy so there aren't surprises afterward. Here's a simple example. Imagine you're comparing two homes at roughly the same price. One has an HOA, one doesn't. One has significantly higher property taxes, one needs more maintenance. Those homes might have the same purchase price and still cost very different amounts every month. That's why I don't want you asking only what's the price. Instead, ask what will it actually cost me to own this home? That's the number that matters. Now let's talk about how you're actually going to purchase the home. For most buyers, that's going to mean financing, but some buyers have the ability to pay cash. So let's quickly talk about the difference. A cash purchase removes the mortgage approval process from the transaction. That can simplify certain parts of the purchase and, depending on the situation, may make an offer more attractive to a seller because there's no financing contingency or lender approval involved. But cash isn't automatically the best financial decision simply because you have it. Putting a large amount of cash into a property means that money is no longer as liquid. Maybe you'd rather keep some of that money invested. Maybe you need reserves. Maybe you're planning renovations. Or maybe having no mortgage whatsoever is extremely important to you. That's a conversation you should have with the appropriate financial and tax professionals based on your individual situation. For most buyers who are financing, though, this brings us to one of the most important steps of the entire process. Please don't wait until you find a house you love to start talking to a lender. Because imagine finding the house, you love the location, the kitchen is perfect, you've mentally put your furniture in every room, and now you want to make an offer. But you haven't been pre approved. Now you're scrambling to send documents to a lender while another buyer is already submitting their offer. We don't want that. A lender can review things like your income, assets, debts, and credit profile and help determine what loan options and purchase range may be available to you. And here's another important reason I want you to do this early. You may discover that you can afford more than you thought, or you may discover that the payment at the price you originally had in mind isn't where you want to be. Either way, it's valuable information to have before you fall in love with a property. And remember, your maximum approval and your comfortable budget do not have to be the same number. If you're approved for up to 800,000, but you're much more comfortable with the payment around 700,000, we shop around 700,000. The goal isn't to see how much debt you can possibly take on. The goal is to find the right home at a payment that works for you. And please don't do this after pre-approval. Once you've been pre-approved and you're actively trying to buy, your financial picture matters. So before making any major financial move, talk to your lender. Don't assume it's fine. That includes things like financing a new car, opening a new credit card, running up a credit card, making large unexplained deposits, or moving significant amounts of money around without the proper documentation, changing jobs or changing the way you're paid without discussing it. And please do not finance an entire house full of furniture before you close on the actual house. I know you're excited. I know the couch is on sale. Let the couch wait. Changes to your credit, debt, income, or assets can potentially affect your loan approval. So, from pre approval through closing, keep your finances as boring as possible. Communicate with your lender before making any major changes. So, now we've done two major things. In video one, we figured out what you're looking for and why. And today, we figured out how to start building the financial side of the plan. You know your comfortable monthly payment. You understand that purchase price doesn't tell the whole story. You've decided whether you're likely using cash or financing, and if you're financing, you're getting pre approved before you seriously start shopping. Now we're finally ready for the fun part, finding the house. But before we start touring properties, we need the right people helping us. So, in the next episode, I'm going to show you how to choose the right real estate agent, the questions I think you should ask them, and something buyers don't often realize. The homes you see online aren't necessarily the only homes that may be available to you. That's where we're headed next. Subscribe so you don't miss it. And if you're getting ready to buy and need help figuring out where to start, reach out to me. I'll see you in video 3.